I got the horse right here, the name is Paul Revere, and here's a guy that says if the weather's clear, can do.
Hello, racing fans, and welcome back to another edition of Handicapper's Corner, brought to you by the Derby Bar and Grill. I'm Mike Heads, along with Randy Golding. Thank you, Randy, for subbing for Drew Forster, who's on assignment up in Alaska.
I'd like to be with Drew instead of you. But,
I know.
Yeah, no,
But,
nice. Glad to be here.
Yeah, cool. And of course, Randy is our Daily Racing Forum correspondent. Please do take time to read his articles in the Daily Racing Forum. They're always great reads, good insight into all the articles. Saturday, we do have 7 races on tap, and also the Preakness, which of course is the second jewel of the Triple Crown. We have some local interest in that race with Peter Redekop's Another Twist of Fate, which will be kind of cool.
Yeah, it'd be very cool. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I know.
Really, he deserves to be there.
I know, he definitely deserves to be there. I know he couldn't get in the Derby, but he's in the Preakness, so it'll be a lot of fun to watch him race in the second jewel of the Triple Crown. We'll get right into the Saturday action. Race number 1 for $25,000 fillies and mares here at Hastings. Only got to field of 5, but great to get them together. This one category that's always a little tough to gather up 5 or 6 horses, but they managed to get a bunch together. I went to the 5-horse Indy Rock here for John Snow. I've always liked this filly. John's done a great job with her, and she runs good quality races. She's a good, solid sprinter. I just think Under Par and the 3 Morning Blurs might get into a bit of a squabble on the head end, and Indy Rock could be the one just tracking just in behind under Amadeo Perez, who's just riding the lights. Everything's running for Amadeo Perez right now. Everything's going right for him. Kind of goes that way in this business. But Indy Rock, I'm going to try him to win it. Put the 1 Under Par to run a great, courageous second in the stake, and the 3-horse Morning Blurs, who has a race under her belt over a century, going 5 furlongs. But I went 5-1-3.
I went 1-5-2, but the reason I went with the 1 is because it's coming off the big race in the Brighouse Bells, and that looked like there was going to be a ton of speed, and she was going to get.
Yeah, she just out sprinted them.
That's why I picked. Good luck to you. Actually, did win the race, but I was a bit surprised to see her get away, and
right.
And I think that's what's going to happen here. She's got the 1 hole to rail, and 6 furlongs. I think if she breaks on top, she's gone. But yeah, I could see if they do get hooked, Indy Rock, and I could see Anstrom coming up making a move late.
On the second race, we do have allowance runners here, 3- and 4-year-old fillies going 6.5 furlongs. Nice big $20,000 purse. I went with the 1-horse Chrissy. I was pretty impressed with her maiden run. Wow, her maiden run was huge. And there was lots in the tank for Amadeo, and I just thought she's ready for bigger and better things. And this field didn't come up crazy tough, so I just thought Chrissy was the horse to beat. Sharp contrast for Mark Cloutier for second. She's been working well. Mark's off to a great start again, and his horse has always run well, but I just thought the horse was well suited to the 6.5 furlong trip, and could be the one sitting second, and could be the one that maybe if Chrissy doesn't make it the entire way on the head end, could be the one that wins it. And I put the 2 Lookout Taylor, ran in a stake first time out, gets in against Allowance Company, a little easier for her. I went 1-5-2, but I really like Chrissy.
Yeah, I agree. And talking to Dino this morning, she was fighting shins all last year, and she's 100%. We saw that race.
Yeah, she was a monster. She ran so good.
Expecting better.
Yeah, no, she's definitely the filly to beat. On to race number 3, 6250 fillies and mares. Only going 6. We're going to back it up to 6 furlongs here. For horses that have not won a race this year or never won 4 a lifetime. I thought it was in the outside 2 horses. The 6, the 6 Tattooed Kitty, and the 5, Yes Please. I went Tattooed Kitty. Pretty solid filly mare last year, and the outside post suits her perfect. She can sit on the stalk on the outside, and she's run good races sitting off of another horse. And I think she can sit off of her stablemate, Don't Tell Judy, who's the fastest of the bunch. Yes Please may get into the box seat unless she's fast enough to get out there. But I thought Tattooed Kitty, who's been working well, she doesn't have the benefit of a race under her belt, but I do like her to defeat Yes Please and Don't Tell Judy. I thought it's pretty chalky still, but I thought 6-5-3.
You're picking against a horse that won 5 in a row?
5, I know. Well, they're all waiver claims. You finally got to get out of that $4,000.
So did I. I went the same way. I went with Tattoo Kitty too for all the reasons you said.
Yeah.
The stocking trip could be, and the horses running for Phil Haller all
They're kicking
they're ready
it right
to
now.
go.
They're going well. Randy. On to the fourth race, maiden $4,000 claimer, 6.5 furlongs. I think it's between the four, the class dropper, Fitzstairs, and the 2-horse Bill Smokin' Bullet, who I thought ran a very admirable race in his Hastings debut. I thought it was a mile back to the next horse. I put Panning for Gold in for third, but I thought Fitzstairs on the class drop. Maybe he can win, maybe he can't. But if he doesn't win, I think the 2 Bill Smokin' Bullet will win. I went 4, 2, and 5. I just thought the 4 Fitzstairs could get the lead or be near the lead and be pretty dangerous.
Yeah, he chased a pretty fast pace his first time out. And those were tougher horses. I went with Fitzstairs too, and the same for second and Fashionable Gold third. I think he can run a good race coming off the bench with a couple good work showing there.
Yeah. Okay, so I went 4, 2, 5. And on to the fifth race. We got some $4,000 claimers going 6.5 furlongs. Good, solid veterans here. 11 of them signed on to run. That's a tough little dash. And I see some speed in here. I saw the 1 Born at the Track going. I saw the 7 Great Blake, the 9 Kelson, and the 10 Harner's back. I thought there was going to be some pace in here, so I thought Gimme Some Slack could get a good tracking trip right in behind them. I thought Gimme Some Slack is going to be dangerous. He runs protected. He did win the non-winners at 3 last time for 4, or last year for 4, but it's been working well for Terry Clyde, who's taken over for the Mike Anderson stable. They're a partnership anyway.
Yeah, there's no real change.
There's no trainer change.
No change.
They're both great trainers and doing well, and Gimme Some Slack's going to be very tough in this race. The Born at the Track is the horse to beat, best horse on paper. Hasn't been seen since July, but still but had some conservative works, from a handicapping point of view. 38, 49, 103, 102. Pretty conservative for a horse that might have to run a long ways on the head end, but still. He's the best horse in the race for Peter Melbourne.
He's going to have to deal with other speed like Great Blake, who's very fast. Too.
Yeah.
But I went with Gimme Slack for all the reasons you said. I like the fact that at the end of his three-year-old year, he was getting better, and he's worked really well. And he could be just a better 4-year-old. He beat older horses.
And he takes advantage of the waiver claim,
exactly.
which is cool because he would be. I would think the connections would have him in for a little more money.
And the right style for the way the race is going to be.
The race is going to shape up. Give me some slack. It's great race flow. It looks like in here it's going to be pretty tough. So both Randy and I agree on the 4-horse. Give me some slack in the 5th. On to the 6th race, 12-5 claimer for older horses. Good race here. Tough one kind of to handicap. I went to the 3-horse. It's in Command. He didn't win a race last year. He was well beaten in all 3 of his starts, but he's very fast. He's been working well this spring, and I'm just going to try him to win it. I just don't see a lot of speed in the race. There's no one to really bother him on the head end. I think Lenny Ciceran can probably get him rolling out there on the head end and just keep going because he is a good, solid speed horse that can carry his speed. And I respect Hall of Fame trainer Harold Barraby's ability to get one ready, and he's had a string of bullets, and I like him to win it. Put the 8-horse Appellant in for second. He had a dreadful trip first time out. Didn't break well. Kind of got shuffled back a bit. Came on running a little bit at the end, but he's in against a little easier. And up at the 4-horse Ace Deuce in for third. He's also didn't get the best of trips last time, and is better than what he showed. It's a good race. Always Sunny I left out, who looked great, winning first time out this year in an easier non-3 lifetime. Santa Wars run well fresh in the past. He might need a little more ground, but he's a cool horse. Twist Grips is nice. I just didn't think there was enough speed for Twist Grips. He's plenty good enough to destroy these horses. I just wish there was a little more speed. But that's kind of the way I saw the race. City Steel's nice, needs more ground. Omega Victory, blinkers off. Maybe that horse will run a little better with the blinkers off. But kind of a cool race.
I'm just wondering why you guys don't sprint Santa Moore a little more. He's got a heck of a record, 2 wins at this distance, and he won first time out going this distance.
Those are all condition races.
I know, but he's trained. He's had some nice works.
No, he's doing well. Yeah.
I think Omega Victory might be able to put enough pressure on It's in Command.
That's the whole key, how the race does shape up, whether It's in Command gets really pushed hard.
But I went with Santa War, Twist Grips. He could win this.
He's a nice horse.
He shows up every time.
I erred in not putting him in the top 3.
Yeah.
Kind of
it's hard not to have him in the track, because look at these.
He's money all the time. He hasn't won a race in 3 years or a couple of years, but he's Always there.
And he ran a good race. Just couldn't catch a really strong performance by
Silvertown
Silvertown.
was huge.
And I picked It's in Command third because I think he could be gone. But
That's why nobody wants to run for 16,000. You got to hook into Silvertown.
It's a
That's
good
a dirty,
betting.
tough horse to run into.
A very good betting race.
Yes, it is. So Randy's going to go to the 5 Centawar. I'm going to go to the 3 horse. It's in Command on the 7th and final. Actually, final on our card, but we still will go through the Preakness Stakes. We got to feel the 7. Non-winners to 2 lifetime, going 6.5 furlongs. I was impressed with the 7 Desi last time. I know the pace was dreadfully slow, but he still put in a really good run. I thought hopefully there's going to be a little more pace in the race with Transplant, Tricky Notice, and I thought there's going to be a little more action on the head end, but I thought he ran a good race with a 24-2 last quarter for the front end and a horse that had been running in Phoenix Indicative. I thought Desi put in a very good run, so I like this horse. I love him. I picked him. I put the 4 horse Martello in for second and the 1 Transplant, who I really liked last time. He needs to step it up a couple of pegs, but maybe off the win he can. He did have a tough trip when winning by a nose in that maiden 4. It wasn't the fastest of times, but still ran a very good race. He's a horse that can move forward too. I would want 1, 4, and 7 at least, or maybe even the 5 in my pick 4s, but I didn't love any particular horse, but I did go 7, 4, and 1.
Yeah, I agree. It's a wide open race. I went with the 1 Transplant.
Yeah, I can see that.
He went 4 wide on the first. He went 4 wide the whole way.
Terrible trip.
The whole way he went 4 wide. It
Still
got
ran
up,
on.
and he just has not run a bad race since Deirdre Bell.
No, Deirdre's done a good, really good job.
A great job with this horse, and he came back and worked awesome, 47 and change. So I think he can move forward.
This isn't a tough race. I
No,
mean, he can win
it
again.
is not a
Definitely
tough-
win again. It was
yeah.
a coin toss, 1, 4, 7.
I think-
I went 7, 4, 1, but
Yeah,
it,
and
that's the way it is.
he's got the rail. He can get out there. Should get a good trip.
Might get the lead.
He could get the lead or sit just off Tricky Notice who may or may not go all the way. But
Right.
wide open race. I went with the 1 Transplant.
Okay. Well, that'll do it for our analysis of the Hastings races on the 7-race program that does get underway at 1:50. Next up on screen will be a quick recap of Randy and my selections, and then we'll move on to the Preakness. Back in race number 1, I did go to the 5 horse Indy Rock. I'm going to go 5, 1, and 3. Race number 2, I went to the 1 Chrissy over the 5 and 2. Race number 3, I went to the 6 Tattooed Kitty over the 5 and 3. Race number 4, I went to the 4 Fitz Terrace. I think it's 4 and 2 though. I'm gonna go 4, 5, and 4, 2. Pardon me, 4, 2, and 5. Race number 5, I went to the 4 Tough Race. I'm not gonna go to Give Me Some Slack over the 1 Born at the Track and the 9 horse Kelson. That's a wide open one. If Give Me Some Slack doesn't win, it's gonna be a toughie to kind of figure out. 6th race, I went to the 3. It's in Command. Another toughie. 3, 8, 4 for me. And then the 7th and final, I did go to the 7 horse Desi over the 4 Martello and the 1 horse Transplant. Here's Randy's picks.
Yeah, I went the first race under par, the favorite one. Went with the 1, 5, and the 2. I think that she could be gone.
Yep.
Second race, got to see what these horses are now. I've lost
Yep,
my.
the 1 horse, Chrissy.
Chrissy. I went with Chrissy. I think she was very impressive first time out.
was.
I went with 1, 2, and 5. In the third race, I went with the 6. That is. Uh-oh. It's my form.
6 horse. We'll find it here.
We'll find it. Wasn't. No, God.
You got your forms all messed
I didn't know
up.
we were gonna have to do this.
Yeah, no, Tattooed Kitty. That's
I went with
Tattooed
the
Kitty.
6. That's Tattooed Kitty.
Tattooed Kitty over yes.
We liked her, and so I went with the 6, 5, 4. Fourth race, I went with the 4, 2, 7. 4 is Fitz Terrace. Could dropping in class could be
That could
right
be the
there.
winning move.
4, 2, 7. In the 5th race, so number 4. Give Me Some Slack. The race should set up. And wide open race. 4, 10 harness back second, and the rail horse Born at the Track. 6th race, I went with the number 5.
Sanawar.
Santa War runs well fresh, training well. Maybe you should sprint a little more.
Twist grips.
I went to Twist Gibbs will be running to end the 3. And in the last race, I went with the 1 horse Transplant. 4 wide the whole way and still won. I went with 1 Transplant, 7, 5.
Okay, there is another big race other than the 7 smashers that we have at Hastings this weekend. It's going to be a fun day. Of course, first post at 150. We do, of course, have the Preakness Stakes, second jewel of the Triple Crown. And we do have some local interest with Peter Redekop Another twist of fate, getting the 12 hole in the field of 13 in the Preakness. It is a mile and 3/16. It is race 13 on a 14 race card, or race 12 on a 13 race card. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch, and everyone's going to be pulling for another twist of fate. I did pick the horse second just because I want to see that. I'm going to be cheering for the horse to win. But I picked the 5 horse, Always Mining, who looked really good winning his races. I know they're at Laurel, they're across state. This horse has just been kicking butt in going through his conditions and running in, not against the grade A horses, but I think he might be a horse that's just peaking beautifully. It isn't the toughest Preakness, which is why another twist of fate can win as well. But I just thought Always Mining could be interesting. He's got a bunch of wins in a row, so it's not like I'm telling you something you don't know. But his races were pretty impressive at Laurel, which is a deep sandy track. Pimlico is a deep sandy track, so he's running on kind of similar racetracks. I put another twist of fate in for second, and the horse I picked in the Derby, Improbable, I picked him for third. I can see him winning, though. I went 5, 12, and 4, but Improbable had every shot to win last time, but just kind of, maybe the slot, maybe, I don't know. He just wasn't good enough that day, but he could be on Saturday. But I went 5, 12, 4.
I actually picked Peter's horse.
Good, and good on you.
Because he just has had 2 really bad trips in his last 2 starts. If he had the same trip as the horse that won the Sunland Park Derby, he would have won by 3 lengths. He would have won for fun, and then he would have been in the Kentucky Derby. And in Lexington, he got once again another rough trip, trapped in the inside. He's a quality horse. He's going to be outside.
12 hole's good.
It's perfect. Blaine, I talked to Blaine this morning. He was thrilled about the 12 hole, and he's going to sit just off the Mining horse, who this is going to be a big test for him. Always Mining. He just he has been beaten. He hasn't faced horses.
No, different quality.
But he's put up good numbers, and he's fast, so he's going to be the one they have to run.
I like the fact he's got some options, and you break from the outside. The 13 isn't speed. Another twist of fate.
Another twist of fate. Yeah.
He can just kind of gallop up there, survey the situation, get a good comfort. He'll be in a comfortable position. He'd drawn inside in his previous 2 races. He was covered up and hit dirt hitting. You're supposed to be a really good horse. You're supposed to be able to handle dirt.
He handled it fine. It was just he had nowhere to go.
Yeah.
He was stuck behind horses and he was locked and loaded, especially at the Sunland.
He will not be covered up in the Preakness.
He'll be sitting outside.
Sitting 3 wide with the great score to get Jose Ortiz.
Oh yeah, one of the best riders.
Him and Irad are like killing him.
Yeah.
Like, those are the 2 best riders in the country, in the U.S. and Canada, Irad and Jose Ortiz. But Jose Ortiz is on another twist of fate. So it should be a lot of fun. We will have a break between, I think it's races 4 and 5 at Hastings for the Preakness, but do check your official programs. But that'll do it for this edition of Handicapper's Corner. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Thank you to Randy Golding for helping out, subbing for Drew Forrester. Should be a fun Saturday afternoon. We look forward to seeing everyone next time here on Handicapper's Corner at the Derby Bar and Grill.
I got the horse right here, the name is Paul Revere, and here's a guy that says if the weather's clear, can do